The following TikToks and footage you're about to see has sparked some unsettling theories online. While there may be a logical explanation, some viewers believe there could be something more sinister behind it. Let's dive in. This is the clearest Bigfoot footage from 2026. Story behind it will terrify you. The Sasquatch story.
And the stories might be the clearest Bigfoot footage anyone's ever captured on camera.
These beings exist.
And the story behind how it surfaced is going to keep you up at night. I'm talking about a 10-second trail camera clip that shows a Bigfoot standing in thick Michigan forest, staring directly into the lens like it knows exactly what it's looking at. Then it just steps away into the shadows. No sudden movements, no panic, just calm and deliberate, like it's done this 1,000 times before.
Because it has.
What makes this different from every other supposed Bigfoot sighting is the quality.
Facts.
We're not talking about a blurry blob filmed from half a mile away on someone's ancient camcorder. This is modern trail camera footage with decent resolution, and you can actually see details. The proportions, the way it moves, the expression on its face before it turns away.
Magic return to the planet. These beings are beginning to surface. Recently, me and my goddess was celebrating her solar return in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. And these beings apparently are known for being out in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. And as we were sitting on at the Airbnb, she stated she seen two bright yellow eyes staring at us. And they was about up to 8 foot tall, next to a tree. And as soon as she pointed it out to me, the being apparently disappeared. Now, some say that the Bigfoot is very magical, and they literally have the ability of walking in between dimensions. There are several theories regarding the Bigfoot. Some allege that they were the first version of the humanoid beings prior to the Anunnaki's experimentation to upgrade our genetic template. That basically, because some say that smooth skin is an Anunnaki trait, that initially all the beings had hair, were covered with hair. All right. Now, I personally believe that we are the Anunnaki. Anyone that has a 9 DNA series, anyone that's 9 ether, are direct descendants from the Anunnaki. That's a whole nother lecture, right? But then you have individuals such as Dr. Malachi Z. York, Freedom Master Teacher, that indicate that these beings derive from the Orion star constellation, and he typically referred to them as Shaggies. Nonetheless, there's going to be a lot of magical creatures that are beginning to surface. And this is one of the primary reasons why they came out with AI and why computer-generated imagery looks more realistic, because they knew that we're entering the age of Aquarius, and they didn't want us to be able to just discern between fact and fiction. All right, so this is why everything's AI and everyone has access to Sora and all these other artificial intelligence apps. It's primarily because they want us they want us pretty much unaware of what's right before our eyes. So some of you guys that say AI don't have an open pineal gland. A lot of you guys can't see beyond a veil. And again, we only see 1% of the visible light photon spectrum. There's so many things that are around us on a consistent basis that we can't see, that now, since the Schumann resonance has been spiking, others are going to be privy to seeing these things. Currently, there's a great separation of consciousness taking place on the planet, and you have to ask yourself, what side of the shift are you on? Are you vibrating in third density, or are you moving to fifth dimensional consciousness? This is the side that we should be on, Cosmic Family, because there's a lot of non-playable characters that are stuck on this side. I told you, be careful what you're eating, all right? Refrain from all fast food, all refined sugar, all low vibratory food that's designed to actually keep you anchored to the root chakra, raise cortisol levels, and calcify the pineal gland. We need to detox our bodies. We need to fast. We need to ground, and we need to surround ourselves around high vibrational people. There's lots of solar flares hitting the planet, and you can truly feel the increase in energy. I've been having lots of dreams, weird outer body experiences, as well as deja vu experiences, times where I feel like I'm walking in between realities. These are all signs that the magic is coming back. The ones that...
My man was floating, astro projecting. Look at this.
I feel like I'm walking in between realities. These are all signs that the magic is coming back. The ones that say everything is AI are walking around with calcified pineal glands. They're on this side instead of this side. The ones that are truly tapped in, they can see beyond a veil, are vibrating on this side. The objective of the Draconian Brotherhood and Dark Shadow government is to continue to keep this planet a loosh farm. The last thing they want you doing is seeing the magic returning or elevating yourself. We're living in a time where everything is being upgraded on a cosmic scale due to primordial dragon ley line activation. Everything's waking up. I'm talking about the return of fairies, gnomes, pixies, dragons, elves. Everything that you thought was fiction, that's depicted as fiction, is actually real. Now, again, trees used to be able to sing and dance and actually communicate with us. Animals as well. We fell so far in consciousness, we were also telepathic. We had things like telekinesis. But now everything's returning back to that point, and it's inevitable. Anytime that you ever thought that you were sick or 100% not yourself wasn't natural, it's due to biological attacks. This is because they don't want us having access to the cosmic gateway and would much rather keep us seeing less than 1% of the light photon spectrum.
The veil is getting thin. That's not the first time I heard of Bigfoot phasing into different dimensions. How crazy is that? Interdimensional being? Bigfoot's just evolving. It's no wonder they can't spot him. He's morphing like Nightcrawler on X-Men.
The internet is going crazy right now about what may have happened inside of this tunnel in New Mexico. So this tunnel is off of the 84 in New Mexico near Santa Fe, and it seems to have been referenced in the Epstein files. So as you can see here, there is the EFTA number in the bottom right-hand corner, and this appears to be an email sent by a potential survivor/victim to an officer, and this person seems to be describing an event that happened in the tunnel. So they say here, I was not before meeting Mike Levine. I don't know who Mike is. It was he who forced me into it. Life of my niece. If I had been in prison, he would have never had to do this. I did what he asked or forced me to do. I told him it hurt, but he didn't care. He had a mission and he accepted what he did to me as collateral damage. I understand I was an adult then, but wanted you to know that Ghislaine was procuring young before 1994. To me, she was the mastermind behind the scheme. And they basically talk about Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell trafficking this woman, doing terrible, terrible things to her. But she keeps referencing this tunnel. Right here, they state, there was an error in my last email. The tunnel off roadway 84 is on the left side of the road, 84, not right side, as I stated in the earlier email. The large turnout is nearby tunnel entrance and is also on the left side of 84. The tunnel is hiding in plain sight. And then down here, she also states, as you can see right here, M. Levine introducing me to Maxwell/Epstein was around the same time of the pictures I sent you, and him taking me to the tunnel. I feel it was all done to terrify me into submission. I appreciate you and others allowing me to purge what has been tormenting my life for nearly 40 years. I hope it helps you knowing she was doing these terrible things in the early 80s. So this seems to be an email ratting on Ghislaine Maxwell, but the internet is talking about what the hell happened in this tunnel. And obviously I'm curious as well. This seems to be something that terrified this victim, and yet the email before this is not present in the Epstein file. Nobody has been able to track down the message sent by this alleged victim/survivor, which would contain the allegation of what allegedly went down in that tunnel. However, people have been able to find the tunnel, or what they believe is the tunnel. And I was actually just in New Mexico last week. If I would have been there right now, I would have gone out here to check out, what potentially could be in this area or inside of the tunnel. But I do know that whatever allegedly happened here doesn't sound too good. Interestingly, also on the post that I found talking about this tunnel, there were a number of what seems to be bot accounts that were attacking the original poster. And a lot of people were commenting saying, wow, the bots really came out for this one. You're on to something. So it seems like this tunnel has some sort of importance, but we just don't know what that is. I'll keep you guys updated though if I find out more.
I was thinking about underground tunnels the other day. It's like, it's so massive under us. We really don't know how much facilities, cities, or what could be under us, honestly. As long as the structural integrity of the buildings on top of it don't get messed with, and they dig deep enough, who would know what's going on under there? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Why you should never keep your cell phone in your pocket.
Don't keep the phone in your pocket or you will exceed the as-tested exposure guidelines. Now, how many of you knew that before today? Because they actually are now giving people this information. Telstra is telling you to use a hands-free device to keep a mobile phone away from the head and body. Because mobile phones and Wi-Fi devices emit pulsed microwave radiation. 900 times a minute, it's looking for a signal. It says to the tower, where are you? Here I am. Where are you? Here I am. It's smart. That's how it's supposed to do. Now, when the phone rings, the worst time for you to put a phone right next to your head is when you answer it and say hello, because it's smart and it goes to max power. And bone marrow And look here at the radiation as it gets into the groin area. And that's just from having a mobile phone modeled into the pocket. The United States magazine Consumer Reports recently recommended that nobody keep a phone in their pocket. Nobody. And in fact, if phones were tested in pockets, they would exceed the as-tested exposure guidelines, which is why Telstra has recently issued that advice. Don't keep the phone in your pocket.
That's why I always try speaking on speaker when I have to, you know, keeping the phone away from you, you know, maybe like a EMF bag or something that could code it so you won't get that signal, but you wouldn't be able to receive calls, I think, if it's completely wrapped up. I don't know how we're supposed to protect ourselves. Use pigeons or writing letters? Y'all tell me. There was a certain art to writing handwritten letters, because you can see the passion behind the cursive, or, you know, if someone's pressing the ink too hard, it's like the bold font. This, you know, writing letters is really a lost art nowadays. I even remember back in the school days when people used to write handwritten letters when you like somebody. You know, I ain't never get none, but it was always, you know, the crush, they'll write a letter to someone, and then, you know. Huge shout out to my boy Jay Wilson for bringing something else to our attention.
To learn about an IoT person. An IoT person can be defined as someone equipped with in-body nanosensors, which is a major component of the Internet of Bodies (IoB) and the Internet of Nanothings (IoNT). In this context, the human body acts as a platform for data collection, monitoring, and in some cases the control of bodily functions in real time. Here is a breakdown of how this technology works and its implications. The IoT person and IoB. When the Internet of Things (IoT) technology connects with the human body, it is known as the Internet of Bodies (IoB). An IoB-equipped person can have devices that are ingested, digital pills with sensors that track medication or monitor gastrointestinal health, implanted pacemakers, defibrillators, or cochlear implants, embedded, next-generation technology where sensors are deeply integrated into the body, sometimes interfacing with the nervous system. In-body nanosensors (IoNT). The Internet of Nanothings (IoNT) refers to the use of nano-sized devices that can communicate and exchange data within existing networks. Functionality. These sensors can monitor biological activity such as tracking virus outbreaks, detecting bacteria, monitoring temperature within living cells, and analyzing blood sugar levels. Healthcare impact. In-body nanosensors can be used to develop a body sensor network (BSN) that provides real-time health data to both the patient and their doctor, allowing for immediate, proactive, and personalized medical intervention. Benefits and risks. Medical advancements. This technology can lead to better management of chronic conditions, precise medication tracking, and non-invasive alternatives to traditional diagnostic procedures like an electronic pill replacing an endoscopy. Cybersecurity and privacy. Because these devices collect highly personal, sensitive data and are connected to the internet, they are susceptible to hacking. Hackers could theoretically tamper with data or, in the case of implanted devices, disrupt their operation, creating serious risks to patient safety. This convergence of biology and technology, often referred to as the Internet of Bio-Nanothings (IoBNT), is transforming healthcare and enabling the integration of biological systems into the digital world. Now, this summary is based on all these papers that you see at the bottom. There's many of them. But this is why they want nanosensors in you. I mean, wearables qualify you to be an IoT person, but you can take them off. Nanosensors are a little bit harder to get out of you. Most people don't even know that they are inside of them.
This isn't medical advice, this is just theories, not facts. I would say the craziest part about nanotechnology is we can't see it. You know, I was going to get us a regular microscope off Amazon for a couple $100. And when I was doing some more research about how spotting nanobots, they said you need an electron microscope, over 6 figures for one of those bad boys. And who knows about the learning curve? You gotta learn to operate it. I'm sure you just can't drop a slide on and look at it. You gotta calibrate it right. And so, man, it's extremely difficult to spot nanobots. I mean, what possible way can you spot them? Something that small, how can you avoid them? It's like, is it small enough to go through the holes of a mask? Is it undetectable from the food you eat? It's kind of scary. It reminds me of something worse than Terminator. Terminator, they were building the AI. This is like slowly merging our cells into nanobots, and then those getting hacked. That's scarier than the Terminator. That's almost like more on the Matrix, when Mr. Anderson was able to jump into the bodies and move around and control everybody. Damn, that's a hell of a reference. If you're enjoying this type of content, don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new around here. It helps the algorithm out, and go ahead and share it if this resonates with you. Let's jump straight back into these waters.
The second someone gives you hating energy, leave the premises immediately. Energy never lies. No matter how much someone says they support you, if they start making side comments, backhanded jokes, and they start talking behind your back, avoid them at all costs. This type of energy not only isn't good for you, but it causes blessings to be blocked, opportunities to close, and you not to grow as much as a person. The fastest way to know if you really have a true friend is to not necessarily only need something, but to tell them some type of good news. Say that you're going on a big trip. Tell them you got a promotion at work and see how they react. Does their energy drop or does it increase? Being around someone who truly supports you will change your life forever. You'll talk better, you'll have more confidence, and success will find you easily. The second someone gives you hating energy,
man, I can't tell you how deeply I resonate with that, man. You gotta think of it like if any of you guys garden or you mess with plants, you would know to trim off the dead leaves or the flowers that's already wilting, so more can bloom from the top. It gives the plant more energy. I feel like this could be an allegory to what he's just saying, is you gotta chop off the dead leaves, and the dead leaves, unfortunately, are people that really don't support you or rock with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's sad because you might be an empath like me and really care for that person, and you take yourself out the equation and apologize for making them do a hateful comment. Hey, I apologize for just saying I'm doing good, and you know what I'm saying? That's just the empath in us, and unfortunately, you gotta cut them off, man, because like I said, the plant, the tree, the flower bush, it can grow way better when it doesn't have that dead energy. It's constantly feeding energy into the dead parts of the plant. And also, real quick on top of this subject, you don't never want to talk bad about anybody. You don't want to do that jealous energy towards anyone else, because any type of malice energy, I believe that it hurts you 8 times more to say something negative, because you have to form that creation within inside of you just to direct it. You got that negative energy swirling inside you for gossiping or talking bad about someone. So that's why I do my absolute best not to talk about anybody, gossip, anything. I just wish the best for everyone, honestly.
Your heart is more powerful than your brain. Your heart's electromagnetic field is 100 times stronger than your brain's. That field guides your emotions, your immune system, and your overall energy balance. PEMF strengthens that field, helping your heart and brain synchronize, improving calmness, focus, and inner coherence. Lead with your heart. PEMF helps it stay in perfect rhythm.
Interesting. Your heart is an electrical organ. That's why it's imperative to vibrate on the right frequencies.
Jung's final insight about sovereign empaths was perhaps his most profound. He believed they represented an evolutionary leap in human consciousness, essential for humanity's psychological development. The sovereign empath, Jung wrote, has become what I believe represents the next stage of human evolution. individuals capable of feeling the full spectrum of human experience while remaining centered in their own truth. They are the bridge between ego consciousness and self-realization. Jung believed that as humanity faced increasing psychological complexity, these evolved empaths would serve as consciousness midwives, helping others navigate their own shadow integration and empathic development. He saw them as essential for healing the collective trauma that humanity carries. Their suffering was not personal, Jung concluded, but archetypal. They have endured the collective human experience of abuse and emerged with the medicine our species needs for its next evolutionary step. The empath who survives narcissistic abuse and reaches Jung's final stage has undergone what he called the ultimate individuation, becoming fully themselves while serving something larger than themselves.
Yeah, that ties into the first video where we're talking about trimming the dead energy off. I know it's hard, because we love people so much. You're not necessarily cutting them off. You just understand your place in this world and what you need to do and your mission.
They take pictures of the parasites that get out of you on these different wormy programs. Woman got 18-inch long critters out of her that were so thick she couldn't get them into a top of a juice bottle. They're usually translucent, they're usually white, and there's some of them that look like tarantula spiders, some of them look like grasshoppers, some of them look like little tiny miniature sailboats, some of them look like little spacecraft.
This is truly going to blow your mind. It'll change the way that you view health altogether. This guy looked through these books from the 1800s and he noticed they all had parasite cleansers.
And what did they know back then? What were they doing? Guessing? I started finding books that were published by doctors through the 1800s, books that they read and books that they learned from. And lo and behold, out of every single book were deworming programs, parasite programs. For doctors in those days did autopsies and they found parasites. And I looked at that and I got a hold of doctors and they said, no, we don't have parasites today. So we started to search for parasite programs just to see what was going on, to see if maybe something was happening that we really didn't understand. So I did myself first. And lo and behold, I got 8 and 10-inch critters out of me. They were white. First of all, they were in the toilet water and they were all bunched up. I thought it was mucus. Until just for a curiosity, I threw hot water in the toilet to warm it up and then went and gosh, they strung out and they were swimming all over. We're now doing pictures in color out of clinics where you go potty on a special pot with a screen in it and they take pictures of the parasites that get out of you on these different deworming programs. Yeah, this is really strange stuff. I have never yet dewormed anyone where they didn't tell me, hey, I feel 25% better. I got halitosis. You're loaded. Because that's worm urine and worm droppings that you're breathing out. So it's no wonder your breath's bad. When they pee, it's called ammonia. So just go to a doctor, have a blood test, and see what level of ammonia is in your blood. If you have ammonia in your blood, that's called worm urine. You get a headache. You got the headache because the worms are all peeing, trying to get you to eat something else. They're trying to make you sick so you'll get off of what you're doing and start eating. So you take some arginine and orthodine, and in a matter of 20 minutes, if the headache's gone, you've neutralized the worm urine and you know that you're loaded. All children that have little tiny pimples on the backs of their arms or little tiny pimples here on the edges of their cheeks have 5 varieties. They take pictures of the parasites that get out of you.
Oh, no, I wanted more. That was the end of the clip, guys. Damn, I'm done eating fast food. I can't be eating fast food because who knows what I really haven't been craving fast food, to be honest with you. It's not like, oh, I gotta go have it. I really fast for most of my day. And, I require sustenance when I feel like I need to eat. And it's not like, oh, I gotta go get me a cheeseburger or I gotta go get me some fast food. It's, but I'm not saying I ain't got nothing in me, but I'm just saying that, fast food and, you know, all the terrible stuff we eat, cookies and all that stuff. That's probably what they love to eat. So if you're not craving it, it might be a slight chance you're not as warmed up as everyone is what I might think, you know. But again, I don't know. This isn't health information. This is just theories. And real quick, something else comes to mind. We should be able to see those under a microscope. We might not be able to see nanobots under a regular microscope, but actual parasites, that might work.
The DARPA documents, if you look at the Army War College documents, if you look at the DoD documents, and you look at some other, you know, deep level documents, which I'll be happy to share with you if any of your listeners want to see some of that stuff. They don't refer to those towers as cell phone towers. They refer to those as directed energy weapons, DEWs. They actually refer to your phone as a DEW, directed energy weapon, your router as a directed energy weapon. Well, I couldn't go much further because they have to control you through frequencies. That's how they control you. And mostly through extremely low frequencies, HARP frequencies, megahertz frequencies, 3, 4, 5G, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10G frequencies, gigahertz frequencies, microwave frequencies, radio frequencies. They can do it through music as well.
Wow.
But there's always the opposite of that too, like the good music with the solfeggio tones and,
right.
and
so
stuff
no more
like
microwaves, you're saying? Don't use those?
Oh, throw your microwave away. The microwave kills all the nutrients in the food anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so that's when you get into, they also want a lot of metals in your body. They need a lot of metals in your bodies as transducers and as receivers. And they want you to be exposed to all these EMFs and all these frequency devices. So the solution is to get rid of all the chemicals and all the metals in your body. You could do that through toxin binders, ozonated activated charcoal, like a microsomal EDTA, some clays, stuff like that. So all of this transhumanism stuff, we're already coming up with solutions, which are just detox your body, make those decisions to start cleaning your liver, do liver cleansing, do heavy metal cleansing, do parasite cleansing, clean and heal your gut, put some really good probiotics in your gut, and try to avoid or protect yourself from any of the EMFs as much as possible. Look at the DARPA.
You know, and it's crazy, you know, because we do absorb stuff from our skin too. So who's to say how small stuff is to penetrate the skin? I don't know. All the metals, you know, that's all in the air from what they doing, y'all know. You know, all the metals in it, man, it's so crucial. I feel like we all need a sauna or something. Nanobot sauna. Something. In addition to that last footage we just watched, I believe this is necessary. Take a look at this. What ancient witches did with mirrors, we do with our screens. Coincidence or something else?
I think that like TVs and phones and computers and stuff, they're kind of eerily similar to like scrying mirrors used by witches, you know? Let me explain. So you got the television, where they tell a vision, right? And on their television, they have some broadcasting of spells, yeah. And then they got the channels, kind of like channeling of spells. Got the programs, the mental programming, you know. Devices. It just so happens that the notorious druid wizards made their wands from Hollywood? Oh, the wood of a holly tree. That's a cool coincidence there. You know, you got your cell phone, prison cell with your lock screen, you know, got the internet, networking, you know, what are you using net for? I think you use a net to catch people, you know, kind of to trap people. A web site, kind of like a spider web, you know, also used to trap things. Monitor? Who are they monitoring? A server? Who are we serving? What are we serving, you know? Why is it called a firewall? Why is it called a freaking mouse? You know, don't they test on mice in labs? And you got your keyboard? key to what? You know, what doors am I opening with my keyboard, you know? What are these keys leading to, you know? Am I onto something, or am I schizo? Am I schizo? Oh, I'm back on schizogram. He's totally schizo.
And you can't forget about the remote control.
I think that,
remote control, just to name one. I'm sure he missed 100 more. Drop it in the comments below. What else did he miss? What type of correlations can you make?
The Latin word for soil, for living soil, is humus.
Right.
And the word human is derived from it.
We need to remember that.
And the word humility is derived from it.
Yeah.
So to truly be human is to be of the soil, and to be truly human is to be humble, to not say the soil is dead earth. The Latin
created from the dust of the earth.
The end of the video will reveal the size and location of these three creatures. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Kind of getting like a wing vibe, like this is a giant wing and a head and his arm going forth, his thighs, and then a calf and a leg. I see a titan laying down, maybe, that had a backpack on or some wings.
There were thousands of dead dragons across this massive park.
Oh yeah, I see the eye socket and some teeth, maybe a nostril, the horns. Man, these things were massive. How are you expecting to fight a giant dragon that's, you know, that big? Kind of reminds me of the Mortal Kombat logo, low-key.
This park was the Parco Natural Regional della Lasinia. They were the size of mountain ranges. The end of the video.
What's slaying a dragon that big? Alright guys, you know what time it is. If you thought you weren't going to get another excellent specimen of the day, think again. Hi, Houston! Ooh, we got a pretty one. Malachite is encased in sugar quartz, with some rocks forming pillars, creating an overall effect that resembles a shimmering starry sky. This is definitely shimmering. We've been in the 9s a lot lately, man, and this is another one. I'm going 9-1 on this one. It's an extraordinary piece. It looks like it was originally a geode. If we can see the back, do they show the back at all? No, I guess the inside is where it's at. Beautiful color, like a turquoise-ish. Yeah, like a seawater almost with the gray. Man, 9-1, and I'm gonna have to name this specimen the Petrified Coral Reef. 9.1. Go ahead and rate it and give your specimen name in the comments below. I know you guys could do better than that. But that's all we got for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button and drop the code word in the comments below. The code word for today is Nanobots. Go ahead and drop Nanobots in the comments below. When you do that, that shows me you made it all the way to the video. You really rock with your boy. I go through as many of the comments as I can and heart as many as possible. And I just want to say thank you guys for your support. This was mysterious TikToks and footage on the internet today. See you later.